It is believed that the woolly mammoth went extinct about 10,000 years ago, but there have been sightings suggesting that it may still roam the earth in isolated regions, or that it went extinct only a couple hundred years ago. One account happened in the 6th century in China. One day hunters roaming the wilds captured what they called the great elephant, but according to their description, this was not an elephant, it was larger and had long black hair. And this creature did live in captivity for a while, but we don't know what happened to it after that. Another possible encounter with a woolly mammoth was reported by an English explorer, David Ingram. In 1560, David was out in the wilds of North America on an expedition, and during this time David took very detailed notes. He wrote about the plants, the animals he saw, as well as the native people, just basically everything he had encountered. And these notes were very accurate and professional. And one day while out hiking in the wilderness, this explorer saw what he described as hairy elephants roaming around. And there is no known animal that could fit that description other than a woolly mammoth. Another account comes from Russia. In the 1580s, a wealthy Russian family hired mercenaries to hunt down some bandits in Siberia who were stealing from their salt mines. And while they were traveling through the Ural Mountains, these mercenaries saw huge animals that they had never seen before, and they described them as large hairy elephants. The natives of this region at this time in the 16th century also confirmed that these animals, woolly mammoths, did exist, and they called them mountains of meat. But sightings of them were extremely rare, but when they saw one they would try to kill it, and not only for its meat but also for its ivory. And these rare sightings, according to the natives, went on until about the early 1800s. Then in 1807, David Thompson, another explorer, heard stories coming out of British Columbia, Canada, about huge elephant-like creatures roaming around in the wilds. But yet again, these weren't elephants, as the locals stated that they were extremely hairy and sightings of them were extremely rare. They also said that when they slept, they leaned against trees. And in 1811, Thompson did claim to have stumbled upon some of their tracks, but he never saw one. Thompson stated, "The evidence of the existence of this animal is sufficient, but notwithstanding, the many months the hunters have traveled this great country in all directions, and this animal is yet to be seen. There is no direct evidence that it exists. Yet when I think all I have seen and heard, if put on my oath, I can neither assert nor deny its existence. For many hundreds of miles of the Rocky Mountains are yet unknown." Another famous sighting in Canada happened in 1803. One day a sergeant and his guide were traveling through western Canada to talk with the native tribes when they saw a huge animal that they had never seen before. This sergeant stated, "We left the fort on the 19th of May, 1803. About a fortnight after having been sent across a river, the name of which I do not recall, the guide and myself suddenly came upon an animal of enormous size. It appeared to be 20 feet in height and had a very heavy appearance. The largeness of its belly was enormous, nearly touching the ground. Its color was dirty and black." Then 15 years later, there was another sighting in the Rocky Mountain region by multiple eyewitnesses. One day a group of people were traveling through the Rocky Mountains, and while they were heading to their destination, they saw what they believed to be woolly mammoths walking around. And these eyewitnesses were terrified because they were just so big. So these people, scared out of their minds, went back to their camp as fast as they could, and they told the others what they had just seen. And the rest of the people at this camp were curious, so they went to this location to see if they could see them. But they were no longer there, but they did claim to have seen the footprints, and these tracks were huge. Now, not too long after this sighting, it did get some attention in the press, and experts believe that these people must have seen buffalo. But these eyewitnesses knew what buffalo looked like, and they said that what they saw on that day was no buffalo. It was extremely large, and it was something that they had never seen before. Then on that very same year, there was another sighting, but in Russia. One day a hunter came upon what he believed to be enormous elephant tracks, and he was shocked. He'd never seen tracks like this before, so he decided to follow them. And he followed them for days. This hunter stated, "I saw huge tracks. They were long, way larger than any of those I'd often seen of any animals I knew. It was autumn. There had been a few big snowstorms followed by heavy rain, but it wasn't freezing yet. The snow had melted and there were thick layers of mud in the clearings. It was in one of these clearings that I saw huge footprints pressed deep into the mud. It must have been about 70 centimeters across the widest part and about 50 centimeters the other way. There were 4 tracks, the first 2 about 4 meters from the second pair, which were a little bigger in size. Then the track suddenly turned east and went into the forest. Where it went in, I saw a huge heap of dung. I had a good look at it and saw that it was made up of vegetable matter. Then about 10 feet up where the animal had gone into the forest, I saw a row of broken branches made by the monster's enormous head as it forced its way into the place where it wanted to go, regardless of what was in its path. Then one afternoon, it was clear enough from the tracks that these animals weren't far off. The wind was in my face, which was good for approaching them without them knowing I was there. All of a sudden I saw one of the animals quite clearly, and I must admit I was really afraid. It was a huge elephant with big white tusks, very curved. It was a dark chestnut color as far as I could see. It had long hair on the hindquarters, but it seemed much shorter on the front. I must say I had no idea elephants were this big. It had huge legs and moved very slowly. I've only seen elephants in pictures, but I must say that even from this distance, I could never have believed any beast could be so big. Another beast was around. I saw it only a few times through the trees. It seemed to be the exact same size. Now this hunter said that he had taken aim with his rifle, but he only had a few rounds left, and he was afraid he would only anger the creatures rather than kill them. So he made the decision to call off the hunt and let the animals be. Another fascinating encounter is from an article written in 1899. The title of this article was Killing the Mammoth. In 1890, a man named Henry Chuckman was staying at Fort Yukon in Alaska. And one day he was showing pictures to the Inuit of African animals, and when they saw the elephant, some got excited and some got agitated. One villager told Henry that he had seen an animal just like that not too far away from where they were. Now Henry was curious, as there were no elephants that lived in Alaska. Then this native told him that he had seen it in a lake while he was out hunting with his son. Now Henry knew all about woolly mammoths, and he believed that this is what they must have saw. So Henry went looking for it, and after many months of searching, he claims that he finally found it. One day for some reason, he believed that it was in the forest close to his camp. So that night he lit a fire, hoping that it would come out and stamp it out. And shortly after he lit the fire, it did, and after a long fight, Henry and a few of his guides were able to kill it. Now this story was famous at the time, and Henry claimed that he did eventually sell the bones to the Smithsonian. But the Smithsonian denied this, so this case was believed to be nothing more than a hoax. But Henry insisted that it was true, and he stated that the government knew that these creatures were still alive. Now I'm shocked how many alleged woolly mammoth sightings there were in the 18th and 19th century. And there are a lot more that I didn't cover in this video, and there have been recent sightings. One account happened when a pilot claimed that he saw a herd of woolly mammoths down below while he was flying over Russia, and he's not the only one. Then in 1956, a Russian schoolteacher claimed that she had seen a mammoth while she was out picking mushrooms. Then in 1989, a hunter in Siberia said that he saw 6 mammoths while he was out hunting. And still to this very day, isolated tribes in Siberia say that from time to time, they still see woolly mammoths. And what's interesting about this is these people who live here with no technology can describe the mammoth in great detail. Now I find it hard to believe that an animal like the woolly mammoth can still exist, but there are places on this earth that are extremely isolated and vast, making some believe that it might be possible. Until next time, this is Paranormal Junkie. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned.